November 23rd, Hudson, Wisconsin. We've got a few degrees warmer than normal today. I've got bees in these colonies taking a little chance to take some elimination flights. This particular group over here, these 4 have got Broodminder units in. These 4 also have Broodminder units in. And these 3 units here all have Broodminder units in. What I've done differently this year is last year I did 6 frame boxes and I was happy with them, and I just had the bottom entrance, and I'm like the idea of having them not have a top entrance because it's not too deep to find their way out. But I didn't want them to suffer like I had one colony last year where the bees suffocated. So this year I've made a 2-inch shim and put the 2-inch shim here with a little gap. And what I did plan initially do today was to put a little baffle over the front, which I'm going to do later on when the weather gets cold, just to stop the coldest of the air blowing directly in. Something the Canadians do. And it's funny to think of Wisconsin as a southern state, but it is on the perspective of the continent, or at least a middle state. But nonetheless, I looked to the north for the tips on insulation and ventilation, because I think the Canadians are doing it pretty well up there. But for right now, bees are just coming out and doing what they need to do and getting back in. The interesting thing will be to see how these what these Broodminder units show over the winter. I've got a few people in the area who are have bought some Broodminder units and then running in the traditional 10 frame double deeps, and so I'll be able to compare the data later on with the 6 frame singles which I've got here, and those 5 over 5 frames that are grouped together. And I'm just curious how it turns out. Right now the data won't mean that much because the bees are in not all the bees are at the top of the boxes, and my sensors are just at the top of the boxes. But nonetheless, it's something else to watch. But for right now, I guess all we do is just leave them alone. Let them do what they're doing and just keep tracking them through the winter. If you're curious as to where to see the data for the Broodminder, I upload it onto their public site. Their public site is becounted.org, and if you look in Wisconsin and click on the zip code 54016, you'll see my data. But well, we'll see how the winter goes. For right now, that's about all I got to say. Not doing anything particularly different, just enjoying the weather.